It still made me face my mortality in a way that a 38-year-old doesn't usually have what I call privilege to do that. I think most people, unless they have a scare, a health scare, they don't face that mortality in the way that gives us the benefit of saying, hey, you know what, let's slow down. And what's really important to us. I basically lived my life. 5 years later, I ran the Dublin Marathon. I was on an aspirin a day. I was raising 2 children. I honestly didn't think about it often. So it's a rare disease. And what I started to hear through the grapevine, a very small grapevine, is that people didn't have materials to share with their friends and families to explain what they had. I've written on and off for the New York Times for a number of years, but I wrote a first-person story that they accepted and published. That was in 2021, and it's the first time I really told my story publicly. The outpouring of support, even still, is amazing to me, not to pat myself on the back at all, but to make me recognize how large the need was and still is for people to talk about and write about and read about rare cancers. So what is myelofibrosis, which is what we're here to talk about today, right? Myelofibrosis is one of the MPNs, a myeloproliferative neoplasm, and a very personal topic for me.
As soon as I heard that, I sort of went blank. I don't remember too much. I remember him saying, you have polycythemia vera, and I'd like to do a phlebotomy now.
I was actually driving and the doctor's office called in. And so I answered through my Bluetooth speaker on my car. And the nurse says, your blood work has come back and your doctor is sending you to an oncologist.
A lot of the symptoms you can sort of dismiss them, like headaches and fatigue and stuff like that. But the itching for me kind of stood out. It wasn't anything that I experienced before. And so that was something that really kind of raised the red flag on starting to kind of track that and monitor that.
I was starting to notice that every day the fatigue was increasing. I don't necessarily know like the times of days, like if it was in the morning or the evening. I just know that when I woke up, I was fatigued. When I went to bed, I was fatigued. Throughout the day, I was fatigued.
I track everything. That's me personally, right? I want to know, every little detail about what I'm feeling. And then I use that as a basis of part of my conversation that I have with my doctor. And I let my doctor tell me whether I'm crazy or not with respect to the symptoms that I'm feeling. So much of our disease is a journey, and over time, and things pop up, they go away. And so I think you need to track everything, have the details around it.
Working with your care team, it's important to tell them everything that you're feeling. Like, don't think, oh, this is probably not related to this. Like, really expressing everything that's going on in your body.
My wife is my caregiver, and I don't know where I'd be without her. We do a lot of communicating now. We treat the doctor's appointments like business meetings. So I will prep with her. We will go over, my notes that I have, what I'm feeling. She'll ask me questions to make sure that I'm actually being honest about what I'm going to talk to the doctor about. And then we'll do like a debrief. What did the doctor say? What do your numbers look like? And then everything in between.
So my mother has a background in the medical field. Sometimes she would accompany me on some of my visits, and she would ask a lot of questions that I may not have known to ask just because of her background.
Sometimes we hear that sleeplessness is a side effect of living with an MPN. I also really believe that it's not necessarily or always a molecular or biological response based because of your MPN. I think it's the stress. I know for myself, I don't think about any of this during the day. But when I close my eyes at night, that's when I allow everything to circle around, and it keeps me from sleeping.
I think it's healthy to have concern and caution about things, but I try not to go too far into the future, because that's when anxiety sometimes can arise. It's because you're going too far into the future thinking the what ifs.
Don't be afraid to communicate. You have to communicate because it kind of is a release point. Get help, and also connect with other patients. Really connect with other patients.
The facts are different now than they were even 3 years ago. This is a chronic condition. This is something you're likely to live with. And because of that, you need to be educated. Your hope will come from how fast things are changing and how many new answers there are out there, new medications, new treatments. Because of our advancements in science, many cancers that were known as killers just a few decades ago are now chronic because people can be treated and live a good long life.